Hello, members of the Court of Public Opinion and fellow members of the bench. I am your host, Mrs. Independent, aka I am not a lawyer. And I was listening to the interview on Channel 405 with Naledi Molewa. And it really dawned on me that as South Africans, we still have a long way to go when it comes to justice system of this country. Honestly, we have a long way to go. Prosecutor or the prosecution team and the investigating officer has never sat down with the affected family, the Meyiwa family, and explained to them how are they moving with the case, even though they don't not gonna go into details, but just to give them a bit of confidence to show that the people who are right now on the docks, those are the right people who's supposed to be there. And if we have a trigger, in fact, a person who's regarded as a trigger point or a kingpin 10 years later, who is roaming the streets nicely, cruising nicely, and we expect that justice will be served. Let's just forget about it. It's not gonna be like that. You have a whole bunch of SAPS as witnesses with their forensic, with their science and all that, and you are gonna be told that their evidence matters because you need to be qualified to refute or to rebut that kind of evidence. And we have a legal analyst who still hide behind the process. Let's take a listen to this and you can judge for yourself. Okay, take a listen to this.
Chatted in June 2025 then and see if I suppose the bones that you've thrown will work there, Pumalelo. But let's stay with you, and I imagine that you heard the views shared by SFISO MEYIWA, the brother to SENZO MEYIWA. A lot of frustration around some of the testimony that has been heard from Brigadier Gininda. And then he says he wants to see the 5 men that sit on trial right now for the murder of MEYIWA released. He says they've got the wrong people. He said there was no hit. He says that he believes that one of the people in that house fired the gun. That's the view of SENZO MEYIWA's brother. I mean, from a legal point of view, what do you even say to him as a brother as to where we are right now, and if there's some plausibility to what he's saying?
I think the first one is the process that needs to be done by the prosecution of saying to him, let us explain to you as the NPA where we are going with this matter. We may not be explicit to you and play all our cards, because the most important part or terrain in which we need to go and fight is the court itself. So it's the court or the presiding officer that we need to convince, and not the court of public opinion, because public opinions will also differ based on various factors, and not the factors which are going to be considered by the court. So it's the sitting down by the NPA in saying to them, Mr. Mayor, let us explain where we are going with this process. We need to make you understand how South African law works when it comes to accomplices and certain individuals that we may want to pursue at a later stage. Let's explain to you how it came about that there are 2 depots that are there, and why are we pursuing one and leaving the other. Let's further explain the very important task of saying that we have a duty as the NPA to prove beyond reasonable doubt that the person is guilty. And if we feel that we do not have enough evidence as yet, we do not want to botch the case by moving forward with the case which is limping. We'll rather wait, get those few individuals that we think are going to be the one that we're going to get convictions on, and then move on later. And I do not think that the NPA would have gone to court having not sat down with the case, looked at it, understood much better what it means in order for the court to proceed, and what is going to be looked at by the court and the evidence that they have in hand. But I think there's a breakdown in communication between the NPA and the Meyiwa family, and it should be brought into the same breath, so that they can be able to understand how processes and things are supposed to move. And if they feel that there's some other individual that should be sitting in that docket, in that box, then they need to be explained to say, maybe at this stage it's still too early in order for us to bring them in. They will come at a later stage, but let us focus on this win for now, and then at a later stage, then they can be brought to the fore. And accountability can then ensue.
Yeah, an incredibly important conversation that you mentioned there that needs to happen with the family. But I can imagine that it's not something easy to do when you've got a family that is emotionally charged. And this isn't an easy, emotionless discussion for them. But we're taking.
So now when you listen to this, you can pick up that in a way there's a sort of narrative that is being broadcasted that the family is hating, SFISO is hating, and especially SFISO, he just want for those who were in the house to put the blame on them. And it's not like that, because he knew what he was told, and other members of the family, like the brother-in-law was told. They were never told that there was a break-in. There were people who came and demanded cell phones and money. They were told exactly what happened. He was killed by mistake, and that was it. So hence they are still sticking, and hence they believe that those 5 men in front of the judge, those are the wrong people, and they should be
Listen
released.
to this one when he was doing a PR stunt.
This was just a PR stunt, and if people who are telling lies should be arrested, I think this one should be as well.
During these past 2 years, the SENZO MEYIWA murder case generated speculations of who could have been responsible for the sports icon murder. Despite this, the investigators never lost sight of their work at hand. The first 5 suspects have been arrested between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. this morning in Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal. As a result of multidisciplinary integrated approach to this investigation, which is working closely with the Director of Public Prosecution, the South African Police Service and the prosecution team are confident that we have a watertight case against all 5 suspects.
Last week, it was leaked to the media that a gun allegedly linked to the killing had been found. But Gede warned against these leaks, saying they interfere with investigations.
We really condemn these leaks and strongly believe that information may have been leaked in an attempt to derail the investigations. This is why, moving forward, the investigation team will be considering opening a case or cases of defeating the ends of justice to ensure such leaks never occur again.
I believe that SENZO was shot by one of the 5 people that were in that house on that day.
I'm 100% sure. Kininda knows that, but he's lying. Mbalo knows that and he's lying too.
Who do you think it is that shot him?
I won't say that because we've got witnesses who are still going to come to court and testify. But I'm 100% sure. Even the first person will reveal a lot of. But because they knew Mugomezi was going to expose the state, they decided to kill him.
Why do you say that Gininda's lying, Mr. Meyiwa? I mean, this is the testimony that we heard over the past few weeks, if you will, from Gininda. Many have said is explosive, and you say the brigadier is lying. Why?
Hey, that man is a liar. He's an expert liar. Even though the Section 205 it's fabricated. That man he stole a statement from Sipo shop. That statement was saying that SENZO was shot by mistake. Even me, myself, they told me that SENZO has been shot. They didn't say that suspect came inside his house and shot him. I asked them, what happened? They said, no, he's lying. They didn't say some suspect came inside the house and shot SENZO. Kilinda knows that. He stole a statement because he was covering up.